So right off the bat, I want to clarify that this is on the 1.0 build of the game, so you're not going to see any of the DLC or some of the newer content or quality of life features. But it's still going to be a really fun time. The timer at the top is the built-in in-game time. It subtracts loads, and you can also set it up in live split to auto-split, which is really convenient. This game has a really unique moveset that offers complete control over the character, and allows for some really intricate platforming. Also, I noticed the stream layout is a little messed up. Is that on my end? Do I need to take care of that? I'm not sure what happened there. But this is the first mission of Mafia Town. We're gonna get a quick yarn and take out this Mafia. And during the cutscene, we can stitch this hat without losing any time at all. Yeah, let me check my OBS. This is weird. Actually, it is my problem. Alright, I can fix this real fast. It was fine in setup. Let's take care of this. My apologies. Hey, we're back. Cool.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties.
So we just unlocked the telescope, and that's going to allow us to access all of the acts of Mafia Town once they unlock. The second act we're going to do is She Came from Outer Space. This mission's really fun. It has some really neat platforming in it. You can stitch hats by collecting yarn, and those give you the main abilities. The sprint hat that we just got allows us to run a lot faster, and it saves an extreme amount of time over the run. And you can get it really early on, which is really nice. I'm going to do a glitch called Double Dupe. I got 2 tickets for 1 and was able to open the vault early.
Whenever you take damage, if you jump into... There's 2 items that we can dupe. One of them is those tickets, so if he gets damaged and then jumps into a ticket, it counts as 2. So it just saves a little bit of time instead of grabbing the other ticket.
So I'll be getting 1 more yarn here, and we'll be meeting the Space Mafia. This Mafia is very afraid of aliens, and because we stepped in the mud earlier, we look just like an alien. It's very spooky. This part is pretty much an auto-scroller. There are certain points where you have to meet him, and he'll drop pawns and run away. The amount of pawns he drops is random, but it doesn't impact the run very much. There's not many instances where you find yourself short on pawns, unless something drastically goes wrong. And that's about it for She Came from Outer Space. Pretty simple mission there. Yeah, no memes allowed, by the way.
Oh man.
Only the most serious donations imaginable. I'll be sure to give you time for those.
Thank you.
Coming up here is the first mini-boss of the run. We're going to be fighting a big mafia guy on a giant stack of TNT, and he's holding Mustache Girl hostage. Mustache Girl is the main antagonist of A Hat in Time, who starts off as our friend, and later turns into a glorious villain. Oop, lost my footing for a moment. So I'm going to be using the Brewer hat in this fight to speed up some parts of it. In just a minute here. I can charge a brewing shot, hit the Mafia again, charge another shot, and instantly get them really fast. Making some pretty good time here. So here's a really cool thing about this. He's going to be dropping a lot of barrels that you have to avoid, but if you stand right here, you can just sit here and do nothing and you won't get hurt. But yeah, this will be a good time for donations. There's nothing else to this, really.
There are currently no donations, but to remind everyone, this is the California Fire, Cal Fire Leash Marathon, benefiting the California Fire Foundation, which is a non-profit organization that provides emotional and financial assistance to families of fallen firefighters, and the communities that they protect.
Yeah, this marathon's awesome. It's great to be involved with it. It's for a great cause.
Yeah, someone from California. This sort of thing hits home for sure. So, consider donating for sure. Give me things to read.
One of the cool things coming up is after this run, you can donate for a bonus game called Minor Ultra Adventures. And that's currently at $20 out of $100.
You want to see that?
It's basically Mario 64. It's a really good time. There's also a bid war for Hat in Time, where you can donate to either save or kill Mustache Girl at the end of the run. And I don't believe that has anything towards it, so be sure to get your votes in. It's really cute. Anyway, this is the first real boss fight. We'll be fighting the Mafia boss as pictured in the title card. Before we do that, we have to infiltrate the Mafia base and get our way over to the throne room. That's not very hard. We'll be fine.
Do you have time for quick donation?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so we got $20 from Jock, who just ran Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze right now, saying, "Figured out match Moo Moo. Hope you beautiful people enjoyed the trop."
Aw, yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much.
So I'm gonna grab this bucket of crabs right here so I can throw it onto a button, and I can get a key to unlock a door in here. That button's really glitchy, but there's a consistent setup for it that works every time. This game also has a slight auto-aim, so it's not very precise. There's a lot of room for error, or whatever. It's good. I'm gonna do a skip coming up here. Look at this. This is pretty neat. I can jump on top of these door frames and skip a Mafia fight. That is so cool. And now we're about to fight the Mafia boss.
Yeah, the trigger for that other fight doesn't extend all the way to the ceiling, so if you just get high enough, you can jump over it.
So the Mafia is going to be launching attacks at us, but we can just stand behind him and we'll be okay. This fight is somewhat random in terms of his attacks. So the time you get here can be a little variable depending on your luck. But yeah, after playing the Death Wish version of this fight is nothing. This game has a new game plus mode called Death Wish, which severely amps up the difficulty curve of this game by presenting new remixed boss fights and other cool missions. And they are so difficult, it's crazy. Alright, I'm going to be setting up for the quick kill in just a moment. I'll be going to the right side of the stage, charging my brewing hat, and then the Mafia boss will just clip into the ground and die instantly. And the fight's over. That's it.
What happens there is the Mafia boss has this mechanic where if you're too close to him, he'll try to swipe you away so that he has room to do his attack. And when you're standing behind him, because he's like right in your way, when he tries to swipe you away, you get stuck against him. And whenever you're in the same spot as him, he can't set up for the attack correctly because he's supposed to jump straight up in the air for that. But instead he just jumps forward and falls through the floor. And then he hits a kill plane and dies.
It's such a good glitch. So yeah, we're making good progress in Mafia Town, and we'll be doing the Golden Vault. You have to go around Mafia Town and collect these tickets to get a timepiece, and there's a really cool route for it. You can do 2 double dupes in this mission if you're a skilled legendary super gamer, like Skellycat or Flare Bear. But unfortunately, I'm not consistent with it, so I'll be only going for 1. And I also bonked. Let's see if I can make my way back up. I've not bonked there before, surprisingly, at least I can remember. All good, though. I also want to make sure I can get pawns along the way. I have to get 100 to unlock Heating Up Mafia Town, which is another act that I'll be doing shortly. And it looks like I'll be more than fine in terms of pawn count. And pawns are the currency in this game, pretty much. That's something I didn't explain. That's pretty much about it. You can buy a variety of things with pawns.
But yeah, on that last ticket that he got, it's pretty similar to the concept he did before. He stood on a torch, and the torch lit him on fire and did damage. He just jumped into the ticket, which is conveniently right in front of it.
So one cool thing about this is that there's a bit of a route difference you can do based on your preferences. The Golden Vault and the Sewer Rift, you can do those in any order you want without any time penalty, because you spawn in the same act, in the same spawn point, and it's really, really cool. I always do sewers last, it's just the way I've always done it. Also, I should explain what a time rift is. It's basically a Super Mario Sunshine-esque secret level that's pure platforming based. And they have some cycles, but they're very fun to play. They're some of my favorite parts of the run here. And there's some really cool sequence breaks you can do in most of them. I did an SCJ right there, which is an exploit that allows you to get more distance out of a sprint jump. That's used all the time in this. You want to explain the more advanced versions of those, Flare Bear, like DSJs and TSJs?
Yeah, so I'll note them if they show up in other places in the run. They're kind of subtle, but there are 3 movement exploits that you can do with the Sprint Hat, because the Sprint Hat does give you different running and jumping mechanics. So when you're walking normally, you have a jump and a double jump. When you're sprinting, you do not get a double jump. You just get one big jump that has a lot more speed in the air. And if you want to get a lot of distance in the air, what you can do is you can hold down sprint on the ground and then let go of sprint, and in one of the next 2 frames after jump, you'll get both of your jumps, like your jump and your double jump, as if you were walking, and then still maintain sprint speed. That gives you more distance.
Uh-oh.
And then continue, and then the other...
I'm sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, and the other is if you sprint jump, the big single jump that I talked about, when you cross over an edge, there's a little bug or mechanic that happens where you momentarily get to jump again, as if you're grounded. So you can sprint jump off of an edge and then just match sprint jump and get another one. Or instead of doing that glitch and then doing a second sprint jump, you can let go of sprint and do a normal jump. And then because you do a normal jump, you get 2 more. So you do a sprint jump, and then you do jump, double jump, so you get 3. So that one's called a triple jump. And I'm not sure if you use that anywhere, Kona. I only personally use it 1 time. But those are the 3 possible movement exploits, so I'll try to note them if they show up anywhere. And in the meantime, this level consists of taking damage in various places like you've been seeing him doing. And that's because there's so much backtracking involved in this level, because the faucets are so scattered that you want to death warp at the farthest away ones, and that allows you to skip a lot of backtracking from going back to the start. So like this lava boosting that'll be coming up here in a second.
We got the 5 sound effect. Heck yeah. There's a little glitch in this version of the game where the 5 sound effect will be sometimes amplified, and it is so great.
It's the only number that's amplified out of all of them.
And that was fixed in later versions of the game. I want to remind people this is the 1.0 build of the game. That was released last year around this time. So it is outdated. But it's also fast. So we got one more time rift to complete in Mafia Town, and then we'll be moving on to Chapter 3, which is the Subcon Forest.
Chapter 3 is done before Chapter 2 for various reasons. One of them being that you need the hookshot to complete some of the stuff that we do there. And the hookshot is located in Chapter 3. So if you did Chapter 2 first, then you would have to backtrack to go get it. There are
Yeah.
other more minor reasons, but that's the main one.
By the way, do you have time for some quick donations?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, sick. So we got $5 from Newtman King saying, "Step aside, Mario. Myers coming to town."
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Newt.
That's $10 from our own OC889, current restreamer of this current broadcast you're currently watching, saying, "I was told you collect a lot of puns in this game. Be sure to get all the puns, get all the hats. Might as go to My Ultra Adventures." Wait, are they called pawns?
Yeah, they are called.
Yeah, they
puns.
are pawns.
There we go. We also had $10 from the Hatter saying, "Hey Konasumi, I have a question. Do you hat pun to have a camera? Cause this run is out of this world." Donating to kill Mustache Girl says she doesn't like memes. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, we should
oh,
do that
no.
then. That puts Mustache Girl to lead, by the way, or could Mustache Girl to lead, by the way, over save. So if you want save to win, donate $11.
Yeah, you have until the end of the run, whenever I call time.
Mm-hmm.
So that you do got time to get your donations in. So yeah, we're activating the telescope, and we're about to enter the first act of Subcon Forest. I'm going to be attempting a skip here. Keyword attempting. That skips a very long cutscene. But this skip is one of the hardest in the run. And one small mistake can equal a lot of time loss. What'd you say, Fire?
I can talk about it if you want to focus for it.
Go for it.
So when you enter Subcon, there's these 3 different firewalls or barriers that block you off from going anywhere. And it makes you go into an unavoidable cutscene that you can only skip by doing this really hard SDJ, like I mentioned before, on top of this tree.
And I missed it, unfortunately, but it's really cool.
Dang. Yeah, so what the alternative is going into this bag. This bag is otherwise unavoidable because, like you can see to his left and right, you have the firewalls. And these are gotten rid of by burning the paintings. And so we'll be able to cross them later, but when you enter for the first time, you have no other option to either make that really difficult jump over the cutscene trigger, or just go into the bag and watch the cutscene.
What makes this chapter unique is that all the acts are organized into contracts. That's a lot different from Mafia Town. But we can access some acts without the contract associated with it. And we'll be doing that in this chapter. Particularly in Vanessa's mansion coming up. I will be going for Cherry Death Warp, so let's see how that works out. And we'll be explaining that as we get closer to that. But in this mission, I'm just collecting paintings, and I have to deliver them to the fire spirits. Which are over there. Oh, I didn't want the cherry. Oh my gosh. Everything's okay.
Yeah, as he was saying in this chapter, some of the missions are located in like acts that you have to get you have to sign contracts to enter. But there are 2 in particular that have sort of secret entrances, kind of, where you can get the contracts for them, but you don't need to because you can access them from anywhere. So the next level he's doing is the Subcon Well. He's going to be entering into the well from the act that he's in right now, essentially skipping signing the contract for it.
Yeah. It also skips going to Hub, and the well is also the only level that you can just enter no matter what act you're in. The loading zone is always there.
And also Vanessa's Manor.
Oh, that too as well.
Alright, let's see if I can go for Cherry.
Yeah, he knocked himself down to 1 health, and he's gonna put that cherry next to the timepiece.
Oh
and
no!
he's gonna collect it and die. I can't see what happened yet.
That was bad. I hit the
Oh,
cherry
yeah.
and bonked off of it.
You bonked on the cherry. Interesting.
Oh, that's you have to replay the level.
Yeah,
that.
that's
I
gonna
don't know if you have
suck.
to watch the cutscene again.
No, I don't have to watch Snatcher cutscene
Yeah.
again.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you just that's a flag that's sent once you watch it one time on your file. So luckily that doesn't have to be watched again. Oh, hello.
Puppy.
Yeah, that's never happened before. That's pretty wild. We have to watch this cutscene though, but thankfully it's not that long.
I don't know why both of our dogs started barking at the exact same time.
I mean, my dogs are biting their bed, and one of them's in the bed, so...
Oh. Yeah, I'm not gonna go for Cherry Warp. I don't want to risk it here.
Do it.
Nah, too late. Oh, nice. I made it inside. The barriers were already down, I think.
Probably because you already did it earlier, but you have to put the paintings down anyway to get it to
Yeah.
spawn, so...
So yeah, what was attempted that cost him a lot of time there? What it would accomplish is only a minor time save. What it does is it respawns you back in the same level, which skips going back to the telescope like he is now, because, like I said, the subcon well has this sort of secret entrance that you can enter from anywhere you want. And so if he had respawned in the beginning of Act 1 like he was just in, it would have still been possible to go straight into the well. And it doesn't lose time either, because their spawn point's the exact same.
Yeah, it's a really neat skip that you can do. I would definitely recommend it. Also, you may be wondering why Hackkid has suddenly changed her color palette. That's because this game has a wide assortment of dyes, which are pretty much skins you can get for Hackkid. And there are so many different colors you can choose from. Wait, where am I? I'm all the way back here. Save of a lifetime. I almost got eaten by the swamp.
Oh yeah, so whenever he completed the blue paintings, the little cutscene played of the wall going down, he did a dive right as that cutscene played, and he continued moving through it, so he kind of ended up in a weird spot.
I tried to go for a skip right there that would just propel me up the well super fast. But for some reason I was not getting it, so let's do it the normal way. Get some pawns along the way.
You can at least see how it works, because he got all the momentum. It's just difficult sometimes to like curve yourself around so that you can actually land on top. But yeah, that tree right there is in a weird kind of angle. You don't bonk on it if you slide into it. So you just go straight up, because it's angled that way.
Doing a small little sequence break to get this button. You're supposed to do this little hookshot course, but you can just jump to the button.
Yeah, it shows off really early that hookshots are pretty fast. You can skip like a lot of places where you're meant to do more platforming because hookshots actually take you so far. They have a really big distance of like jumping, and you get your double jump back and dive each time you use one. So you can skip like all the way to the top of this well only using the hookshot a couple times. There's a ton of like actual buttons and stuff you can do in here, but as you saw, you can just jump off walls and stuff. Like go for the hookshot, you get your double jump back, you can just skip everything. It's pretty neat. Generally anywhere in the run that you have something to grapple onto, it is worth to do just because it's like so fast.
In that loading screen there, I dove, and I was able to get a little more distance towards the timepiece here.
I have time for a quick donation, by the way.
Go for it.
Alright, we got $10 from Hydrophobic Walrus saying, I can't really offer more, though it's such a worthwhile cause, but I would love to. This is my contribution to see a cruel and fun twist add to a brilliant game. Loving the work you're all doing. Thank you very much.
So here's where we're gonna enter an act without activating its contract. I'll be entering through contractual obligations, and I'm gonna go over to Vanessa's Manor. This act, for some reason, can be accessed without the contract needed. So this is pretty convenient. I can just go over here and zoom our way there. But yeah, on Subcon Well, that level is so much fun to play. It is one of my favorite parts of the speedrun. It is so broken. We'll be talking to Snatchy Boy here for a minute. Getting that Toil of Doom contract for later. So the part leading up to Vanessa's mansion is really interesting. You gotta jump on these bells to overcome these walls. And there's some little minor sequence breaks you can do here. These are always fun to play. Doing a lot of SDJs, those help especially here. And now we're entering the mansion in just a few moments. It's very spooky.
Those little ghost-looking guys with the masks, and also the bells that he didn't, like, ring a lot of the time. The platforms you skip past contains, like, it's a whole other mechanic that you generally use with the Dweller mask. And because a lot of them can be skipped like that, there is also a huge Dweller barrier wall that you can't cross later in the run. But we're able to do the whole run without ever obtaining this mask due to being able to skip, like, every time that it's intended to be used. And each of those will be explained as they show up.
So right there I just jumped on the door frame, or on the door itself, to skip over a cutscene trigger. Which saves some time. Oh, and yeah, I also did skip. A developer intended skip. It's called Vanessa Skip. You crawl into a little hidden hole, and it takes you directly to the final floor of the mansion, the attic. Usually you'd have to go up 2 floors, but the developers put it in there for what I think are 2 reasons. 1, because the beta community kept memeing about a Vanessa Skip, and 2, because young children can play this game and can be spooked out by the level. It is surprisingly scary on a first playthrough.
Yeah, both of those reasons have been said, but I personally believe that it would never be expected for a kid that would be scared of the level to find that, like,
Yeah.
unintentionally.
That's a good point.
So, like, yeah. But wasn't, like, Vanessa's Manor the only level in the beta without, like, some skipper trick to it, and, like,
It was
before, like,
the
level?
longest level in the run by far.
It was like almost a 5-minute level, and there was no way to skip it in the beta, no matter how hard we tried.
Yeah, so, like, finding a Vanessa skip was, like, the holy grail of the
That
run.
was the holy grail.
We had a method of, like, if we could get out of bounds to finish the level, but we could never get out of bounds was the problem.
We
Yeah,
tried
so they-
everything.
Yeah, so they added that in to, like, fulfill the dream.
The prophecy.
Shout outs to Heboy. Yeah, this timer's really cool. It has cookies in it, so it's automatically pretty sweet.
And who knows, we probably wouldn't even do Vanessa's Manor in the run if that trick didn't exist.
Yeah, that would definitely change the route. Because the level's really long.
Well, also the 3rd floor is gone, so it's much shorter than it used to be.
Yeah, in the beta, there was a floor at the very top where you encountered a Snatcher version of Hackkid, and you had to run around and flip switches, and that was scrapped after the beta build. Really interesting little trivia bit there.
Ah, remix.
Time loss.
Timeless. There's remixes in this slot machine, which happens after every time rift. If you get a remix the first time, it'll have that intro alert pop up. There's no way to skip it and avoid it, so you can technically lose a few seconds to just RNG. It's good. It's very minor, though.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Did
at
someone
all.
say minor?
Haha!
Ah.
Jokes. Go ahead.
I had nothing to say. I just wanted to press that.
This time rift has falling platforms, and it's really unique. It's also very cycle based, so if I happen to mess up here, I can risk missing an entire cycle. Use my hook shot to skip little pieces of it. Oh, I didn't. I tried to do an SDJ there, but for some reason it didn't work. Yeah, hook shots are fun. That's the big message from this level. There's also a big whale swimming above the level. I'll turn around so you can see it.
Yeah, shoutouts to the Time Rift whales. I wish they appeared more often, honestly. I feel like I barely notice them whenever you, like, get through the rift pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you're in the rift for enough time, the whale can just, like, swim right in front of you, so you can like, actually walk through him if he's close enough, but it, like, never happens.
Yeah, BRB on Fire had a good point. The reason why timers are done is because they are very fast. Extremely fast. So they're definitely worth doing.
Yeah, the objective of the any percent category, the routing is all based around collecting 25 time pieces. That's like the whole goal of everything Kona's doing right now, is just beating the 25 fastest levels. Because to enter the final level, you need 25 time pieces. There's no way of getting into it early or anything like that. If there's a way to get into finale early, then we could, but it's literally impossible.
Alright, get ready for a quick kill. I pause the game, change my graphics. He will die if I do it right. I'll have another opportunity in just a minute.
Yeah, you get to retry it a couple times.
I think that was a little too early. Nope. Dang it. I'll have another opportunity in just a moment. I think I might have been too early. Yeah, this trick is super precise. And I got it. I got it. He died.
There we go. He's trying to time the pause as he teleports underground. In between each of his attacks in the first phase, he goes underground and comes back somewhere else just to, like, make his patterns more unpredictable. And when he's under, like, out of bounds, you can lag your game by changing a graphic setting. There's other ways of doing it, but that one's, like, the most consistent method, is by changing your environment detail. And then that lag, if you buffer a pause to, like, unpause the game as soon as you can, the lag, like, continues him underground instead of coming back up like he was intended to. So he just hits a kill point and dies. And that timing on the pause is the most important part, so that's what he was, like, retrying to go for.
If you thought that was crazy, wait until you see the Snatcher fight after delivery service. So here I'm just on a scooter delivering some packages to the subcon dwellers. Just drifting our way through subcon here, no big deal. There's a cool route you can do, and this is the only level in the game that's dramatically faster with keyboard and mouse. Because aiming on controller is really weird in this game. So if you're a professional CSGO player like Shockwave, you'll have a easy time with this level.
This level is pretty much universally played on mouse. Because, for obvious reasons like the aiming on a joystick, it takes longer to move your cursor around, so objectively it would be slower. But funny enough, the one person, or one of the few people that is extremely good at this game on keyboard, has actually proven you can get rivaling times on this level on controller. You would expect it to be a controller player, but no, the person that plays keyboard normally is like, I can do controller on this level. But yeah, it's possible, but it's just much more comfortable to play on keyboard.
Yeah, that's how most people prefer to play it.
But if you don't have a keyboard, it's technically not a time loss. You can still somehow get good at it, apparently.
Well, I think everyone has some kind of keyboard for PC, but I get what you mean. Anyway, we're just gonna hit him repeatedly, and he will die pretty soon. I'll be waiting until a certain text box appears before I stop. You can't just hit him over and over again. Oh, hello. There we go. And now we wait.
What's happening is at the first phase of this fight, Snatcher, like, jokes to you about being invincible. Because normally you hit enemies when they, like, or bosses when they light up blue. That's, like, their way of showing you that they're vulnerable. And Snatcher doesn't light up blue until you throw a potion at him. But because of that little trick right there where you can actually hit him a little bit early, Kona's already knocked his health down to 0. So that once he actually gets the potion and hits him like intended, he just immediately dies.
And that's the fight. And now we get to watch the cutest cutscene in the whole game. If anyone knows the copy pasta, feel free to post it in chat. It's not a long one, so it shouldn't be spammy. But it's it's an inside joke within the Boop Troop community. Stay and have fun. Be nice. All of it. Stay. Be my BFF.
But yeah, funny enough about the strat for that fight, there's one text box you have to wait for before you can start smacking him over and over. And funny enough, the text box is, "You're waiting for me to turn vulnerable, aren't you?" And then laughs. And it's really ironic because if you do that strat, he jokes about being invincible and then immediately just loses all of his health to Hagkid. Like, just gets destroyed. I find that really funny.
And that has concluded Subcon Forest, and we'll be moving on to the next chapter of the game, which is Dead Bird Studio. Or Battle of the Birds, I mean. The first level we're doing is called Dead Bird Studio, but it's movie themed. You have two directors battling it out to make the best movie imaginable. So you're going to be on a ton of movie sets. You can be on a ton of movie sets, but we're not going to be doing as many levels in this, because levels like the Big Parade are super long and kind of an auto-scroller, so you can't speed it up that much.
So there's the first intro level where you're in the studio, and then the other levels or the main story acts are each located on their like preferred movie set. So like Conductor's levels are on his train, the Owl Express. Getting the sunglasses, by the way.
Yeah, shoutouts to Chocolate.
Yeah, you can grab those sunglasses there in the machine in Deadbird Studio. It's pretty cool. And then DJ Groove's movie set, or his levels, are located on the moon.
I missed the jump there. I'll play a little more safe. Ooh, okay, the safe way I tried didn't work, so I'll try an extra safe way. Extra baby safe way. Hey, it worked. But yeah, you have to make sure you don't get seen by these owls, like I just did. Okay, I didn't spawn as far back, thankfully. I'm gonna be super careful, because I'm only on 1 health.
So you went out of your way to grab the checkpoint. That time helped you out there.
Yeah. I think I'll be okay now. I'm gonna grab this health.
Like you can saw, he just jumped straight through one of their like beams a moment ago. He's done it multiple times. A lot of the birds like don't catch you fast enough that with good movement you can just run right through them and kind of ignore them. And the reason I'm assuming it kind of caught him off guard when that other bird caught him, some of the birds in this level have significantly faster capture rates than other ones. So like you have to pay attention to certain birds. Like this one at the very end here will capture you instantly.
What the heck?
If you get looked by him for even a second.
I hit an invisible wall. What was that?
Oh, I saw that. At least you have the checkpoint.
Yeah, I'm
Usually
fine
don't
now.
Get checkpointed there.
That was wild.
Usually don't get checkpointed there, so that was pretty convenient. But yeah, that penguin he was waiting for, he can not only capture you instantly, like you can't pass through his beam because it's so fast, but also it goes through walls. So if he's turning to the left when you try to do that little shortcut Kona did, where you go under, he'll capture you through the wall and you'll just fall and die. And it's terrible. Yeah, you have to kind of pay attention to which birds like you have to watch out for, because some capture you so quickly that you can't really dodge them.
Coming up next is one of my favorite levels of the run. It's Murder on the Owl Express. It's a murder mystery mission that has a lot of sequence breaks, and it is very cool. We'll be doing this one, Picture Perfect, as well as Train Rush. And we'll be...
Oh, you have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. $15 from the Packle saying, "This game's my childhood and Konasumi ruined it. Thanks, Konasumi." God, so rude.
Dang.
Thanks for $15, the Packle.
Yeah, Packle's a bud of mine. Thanks, man. So yeah, we're just gonna get the key here, grab a little yarn, and make a phone call. This phone call tells us to go to the front or to the back of the train, and we'll be greeted with a big surprise. An owl has been brutally murdered on this train, and we have to find out who done it. So the crows are going to be investigating alongside us, so we have to make sure not to be captured by them. It's very similar to how it worked in Deadbird Studio, but the risk is not as high, but it can still happen. I'll be doing a sequence break by going to the second level of the train early, and that skips a lot. It's going to break something coming up here too. So something's going to happen in a moment. I promise I'm not splicing. That happens because a cutscene doesn't load in properly. And once it's over, it just resets you.
So he did sequence break past like most of the entire first floor by doing that jump up to the button. It's not intended to be reached until a lot later. And because he skipped so much like story parts of the level, there's supposed to be a cutscene that plays there, but it doesn't because you like skipped a prerequisite for it, I guess. And it's like 3.5 seconds long. And when it ends, since Hat Kid's position in that cutscene is at the start of the room, whenever it's supposed to finish, it teleports you back there randomly.
And that's it for the murder mystery. So the only person we can pick is the conductor. I noticed someone said something about a donation incentive, but that would be a lot slower, unfortunately. It's a cool idea though.
Yeah, none of the evidence pieces are ever grabbed, but if you don't take any, or if you only get one, it defaults it to the conductor, because he's like the first one. They spawn in a certain order. I guess you could try and see which of like the people that you can select have like the shortest text or anything like that, but the cutscene for picking up an evidence piece is so long that like it would never save time anyway. So the conductor will universally always be the murderer for speedruns.
So now we're going to go to the moon, which is where DJ Grooves has all of his movies at. And we're doing an act called Picture Perfect, and it is really cute. We have to go ahead and become Hatsune Miku by getting a big fan club. And we can do that by running past photographers and doing other really cool things.
That was a great pun. I haven't heard that before.
I was actually going to say it during your run, but I forgot.
You should have.
I
You
forgot.
should have.
I'm very proud of it. Yeah, we're getting so many fans right now. We're so popular. Pretty soon we'll be partnered on Twitch. 15,000, 16,000. And we've hit max diva status. Let's go. And that's the end. That act's really short and sweet. Also, don't mind that. That's okay. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Now we're going to do a time rift located in the art gallery. This one's really fun. This room has a bunch of paintings. It's really cool. Shoutouts to Jenna Brown, Cyanotar for making all those. Cyanotar also made all the title cards for the game, including the DLC ones.
I was so pleasantly surprised when all of the New Game Plus missions had like their own new title cards, because I love the 2D art for this game so much.
It is great. Jenna's style is really nice. Yeah, I missed a jump there, unfortunately. That sucks, but I was able to recover pretty nicely.
What he went for in the first cycle there is little cool momentum like thing that you can do a couple times throughout the run. Moving platforms had add to hat kid speed, so he tried to do an SDJ on the moving forward platform, which gave him a little bit more distance, but just barely didn't reach it because it is really far away, the thing that he was trying to jump to.
Yeah, now we're going to do another time rift called the Owl Express time rift. This one is one of the hardest, especially for beginners, because it requires 2 mandatory SDJs to do fast. So if you're not too good on your SDJs, you might experience some trouble with it. I had so much trouble with this for such a long time, and I sometimes still do fail it. Because if you don't hit the SDJ, you'll die.
I think anyone can always be prone to failing this rift. At least not making the first cycle. Basically, there are these rotating buttons and a rising gear at the very end of the level that if you want to get the best time, you need it to ride you up to the top. And making it there on its like first rotation is pretty difficult to do, so we'll see how that goes.
Ah, dang, I missed the cycle. I'll just play it safe and go when this one turns around. That was the first one, now I just have to get the second one. Not over till I hit the checkpoint. Alright, nice. We're good. I'll have to go back and get that first one since I missed the cycle, but that didn't cost me a lot of time. Working our way up the gears. Pretty simple. This next part can be pretty funky at times. Ah, dang it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes the cycle will be weird and you need to adapt to it. We have one more act to do in Battle of the Birds before we do an additional act in Mafia Town, as well as a purple rift. But I'll explain that as we get towards it. Train Rush is such a fun level. It has been a classic.
I just realized, I think you forgot to make the burger relic.
I did. Alright, we'll go make the Fortnite burger later, but for now we'll just do this.
Yeah, so he's collected this item called a relic 2 times throughout the run. And relics, you collect them in a certain order and they give you these little like toy pieces. And the first 2 you get make a burger. And he needs to go to a relic and craft the burger. And that spawns a new time rift in Mafia Town that we'll be doing near the end.
Yeah, we're just activating some panels. Gotta get through this train as fast as possible. It's very hectic. The Death Wish version of this level is really crazy. It took me forever to beat it with all the bonuses.
I actually had a bit of a reaction there when you missed that 20-second clock. Because in the Death Wish version, if you miss like any of the timer bonuses, then you pretty much are guaranteed to fail. But in these, you can like the timer's lenient enough that you can skip all the time bonuses. But yeah, I spent so much time on the Death Wish mission, it caught me off guard there. Like, wait, Cody, you're gonna fail.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how fast you are. You will not beat the level if you don't get time bonuses in Death Wish. But yeah, if any of you are wondering about the Death Wish mode, people actually speedrun it, like Flare Bear, and it's really, really cool to watch. I would suggest watching a Death Wish run if you like what you're seeing right now. It basically amps the difficulty up to 25. And it's about the same length too. It's a little bit longer than a 90% run. I'm gonna stitch the ice hat here now because I'm in a cutscene.
Yeah, there are only 3 runners of the Death Wish mode, 1 being me. The other 2 also being other really talented runners. And it is a pretty brutal category, so it explains why there's so little activity in it right now.
If it gives you any idea of how hard it is, that it wasn't casually beaten. Oh, wait a minute. It wasn't casually beaten until about 36 hours after it was launched. Nobody beat it until then. And people were going... We're trying really hard on that for a while. Alright, yeah, we made the Fortnite burger and we can now access Mafia of Cooks, which is a purple time rift. These are slightly different from the blue ones we've been experiencing. And I'll explain why in a second. We're spawning into Down with the Mafia because it's the closest spawn point to the purple rift orb that we have to touch, which is over here by the beach. So in the purple rifts, you have to collect tokens to advance, called rift pawns, to get a certain number to advance, and they're scattered all across the area. Each area or floor of the level is really small in size, but they offer a really unique challenge in finding all the pawns. These rifts also have storybook pages that explain the lore of the game more, and you can find those in hidden areas. You can briefly see one right there. This level was featured in the speedrunning event for this game back in 2017, before the game launched. The developers did a really, really great thing for the community by making that speedrun event because it got so many people interested in the speedrun of the game. It had a small collection of levels that you have to play through back to back. And it was a really fun time. Hopefully they do another one sometime.
Yeah, time for a quick plug, by the way.
Go for it.
Alright, so everybody, it's a call to action right now. We currently have much time left in the run, and the curtain said for the end of this run, Save or Kill Mustache Girl has like $10 towards it total. All 10 going to kill Mustache Girl. Can we get something interesting happen there? Like, there's more donations in for that. I'm just saying, that'd be pretty cool. There's also after this run we have potentially, it's not met yet, but potentially if Konasumi here running My Ultra Adventures, which you want to see. Trust me, you will want to see that. You never heard of that game, but trust me, you'll want to see it. It's currently at $55 after $100 out of $100, so only 45 left. Get donations in. Thank you very much.
Minor Ultra Adventures is basically Super Mario 64. That's all I'll say about it. This level right here can be pretty wild. It requires a lot of precise movement, so I'll be focusing for a little bit.
Yeah, as he's going, I'll note that it gave him a warning as he entered the level, saying like, are you sure you want to go? You're missing a key item, which is the time stop hat. It's a hat that slows down other things in the level, such as this Mafia guy riding on a rocket, significantly, so that you can easily just walk past him and make it to the end. And obviously Kona's trying to do it without the time stop, which requires a lot more difficult movement. But nice job on that.
Yeah,
you
that
can
was
make it
clean.
to the end a little bit ahead of him. With optimized movement, you can kind of see the gaps that like more difficult movement can do. Like there's some strats that are harder, but you can mess them up more because like if you get them perfectly, you'll beat him by like 3 seconds or something crazy like that. But the more consistent methods run a little bit closer to the guy, so it's just preference of what you want to do to that level. The main worry is just to not fail on it, because if you fail, you have to retry the race, which is like 30 seconds or more.
So in this rift here, there's a bunch of birds that will just knock you off the platform you're on, and they can be very, very annoying. I'm having a lot of trouble here for some reason. Let's do it slow and steady. But that's not it. We have to complete this other section. These birds are so fast. It's crazy. Yeah, I just want to play it safe because I want to make sure that I do not go overestimate. But there's some cool strats you can do there. And now we have the final act of Hat in Time, which is the finale. We'll be duking it out against Mustache Girl.
those birds can move so quickly that, like, once you get in their sight, they start to aggro, right, and they run at you. If you are about to land on a platform that they're standing on, they already see you. You can, like, buffer a jump to jump off the platform, like, frame perfectly, and they can still sometimes catch up to you. So sometimes there's literally just nothing you can do if you, like, land in certain bad spots. So the movement that's done there generally tries to avoid them, or just, like, swerve around them really quickly so they don't aggro.
Now all we have to do is enter finale, which is up here in the attic. There's a cool sequence break we can do here in this area, not in the level, in the area where you access the level.
The attic.
You can jump on this clock and just jump over the gate. You don't have to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, like I said, one of the hats required for solving that puzzle is the Dweller Mask. And so because we're going in without that, it's going to give them the same warning again, saying you're missing a key item and won't be able to complete the act. But little does it know that we can go out of bounds and completely disregard the barrier that it has set up for us. So, I assume you'll like me to explain that so you can focus on this.
Yeah.
Because this trick can be pretty difficult, so...
I'm not going to be going for slides because I don't want to risk it, but it'll still you'll still be able to see how crazy this is. Basically,
what he's gonna
jump in
do-
a hole.
Yeah. There's a little hole in the wall on the edge there. If you can fit through it, there's conveniently this little gap that you can squeeze into right after, where he's just wall climbing up over and over. We'll also change a little graphic setting there. That's he disabled a depth of field. It changes the shading a little bit, and it gets really dark up here, so he uses that so he can actually see where he's going better. But yeah, now on this roof, it's like a big half circle, and something to note about it, what he's doing right there. At a certain point on this roof, it becomes too steep for Hat Kid to slide on or stand on. Like you can see when he's on the ground here, he has dust, so he's still on like solid ground. But if you go too far down, you get onto this spot where you can't stand anymore. But if you slide, you can like hover over it and get a ton of speed. But because you're on the very edge and there are some weird textures up here, like tiny invisible things that you can bonk on and stuff like that, it becomes really risky. Because if you bonk at all down there, then you just fall off the edge. So he's just going for some little slides up here where the angle's more shallow, so he's not as likely to fall off and lose the run.
So up here I have to make sure I don't fall into a hole right here. So let's see if I can do it.
Yeah, one of the obstacles I was talking about, there's a little hole in the ground.
And I did it. We're all set. All I have to do now is get to the end, clip back inbounds, and we'll be starting the fight.
Mustache Girl has these little dialogue cutscenes where when you enter her throne room, she like says stuff to you. And luckily, one of those cutscenes that triggers dialogue barely peeks out of the level, so you can like access it while out of bounds, and that's going to be our method of continuing the level. Because otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get back in unless if we like hit a checkpoint at the very end of the level and then died and death warped back inside.
Now we're back in bounds. You can hit a cutscene trigger out of bounds, and it just warps you back in. It's really nice. Ooh, we got a nice hit. Not getting any doubles.
Mustache Girl's attacks, you can see he'll be going for it quite often. She has, it depends on which attack she decides to do in certain orders, but some of her attacks have slow animations on starting them up, whereas others she teleports away immediately when she decides to do them. So if you get the attacks where she like stands still for a moment before doing the next attack, you can just immediately smack her again and like skip that attack entirely. And there are like 3 phases throughout this fight where you can do that and get double hits and stuff. He'll also be going for some projectile hits with the Brewer hat. That timepieces attack where she like camps up in the air. She's too high for you to homing attack or hit her, but the projectiles that you have do a little sequence break where you can just skip that attack and hit her out of the air. And that's pretty useful because she has that attack in like 3 phases of the fight.
Now we're gonna be seeing the Mafia Ball again, if you remember that part in the Mafia boss fight. We'll be using that to our advantage here.
Yeah, now we actually see the Mafia Ball for more than like a second. Because in the original fight, we just skipped. The Mafia Boss died as soon as he used it.
And now she has a shield, and this is where the luck part comes in. There's going to be cherries that Snatch will be throwing at us, and we can use those to break the shield. The luck part is based on how many times you have to break her shield. How many cherries you need to do it precisely.
Because in her set list of attacks, she has all of her normal attacks where she just does them right away, and she also has an attack for each of them where she shields herself before doing so. And obviously having to throw the cherry at her and waiting the whole time is noticeably slower. So right there, she did the shockwave attack, but shielded herself before doing so, so he had to wait a little bit.
Wow, this will be at least a 3 cherry. See if we can get 4 cherry.
Already. Can get anywhere between 1 and 5.
Alright.
So there's 1 normal hit. There's 2 normal hits. That's good.
Now we're entering the last phase of the fight, where we have infinite health, because everyone else sacrifices themselves to Hat Kid. Because they realize they get little pawns, or little health pawns when they die. It's kind of dark, but it does help Hat Kid defeat Mustache Girl. Also, I apologize about the bitrate. There's nothing anyone can do. This level will always be bitrate madness.
It's a little bit of a dark description. The lore is like that they want Hat Kid to defeat Mustache Girl and then get the timepieces in like reverse time, I'm pretty sure. So she like gets rid of this like huge hell castle she's made. So they all sacrifice themselves to Hat Kid under the assumption that she will win this fight, so hopefully Kona is able to pull that off.
Yeah, this will be no problem. I'm making good progress so far.
She has 8 health here. She has 4 different attacks you can do. It's difficult, but you can finish it in 2 attack cycles.
Alright, time's coming up in a few seconds. Get ready on that. And time. That was a 54:19 in-game time without loads. And I also finished a few minutes under the RTA estimate, which is pretty nice. But that was it for Hat in Time. Pretty much. Now we just gotta see who won the donation bid war for Save or Kill Mustache Girl.
Well, in that case, you didn't get more donations for Save or Kill, so $10 for kill and that wins.
Alright. So I'll explain how that works. It's going to be a little dialogue option that gives you a different cutscene. We can see Mustache Girl is in the ocean, apparently, but also in Mafia Town.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Someone just donated $20 anonymously to save Mustache Girl.
So is it tied?
Nope. Save wins.
Alright.
Unless it's a last minute snipe again.
So I can... Is it locked in?
I think it's locked in at this point, yeah.
Locked in for save.
Locked in for save.
Alright, we're dropping a timepiece down to Mustache Girl and helping her out. We're saving Mustache Girl with a timepiece that landed in the desert. But yeah, just want to do a quick few shoutouts to the community of A Hat in Time called the Boop Troop. We have a really chill Discord server. The community for this game is super active, and it's really chill. A lot of excellent people in there. Very thankful for the community. They've done so much work in breaking this game, and especially with the DLC and Death Wish, been really amazing. And I would definitely suggest checking out this game for yourself if you like platformers. I argue it's the best platformer you can get on PC right now. And it has a very good development team, all great people, and the product they made is of super high quality. And I believe it's on sale for Steam right now, about $17 US, which is or no, it's not on Steam, my bad, it's on Humble. You can get this game on Humble for $17, which I believe goes through Steam. But Yeah, I'm not the best person at this game, so if you want to see high-level gameplay, you can check out the leaderboards at speedrun.com/ahit. There's a bunch of different categories you can do.
By the way, Kona, I'm sorry to say this, but you have to play Marital Adventures.
Aw, yeah.
We got a $45 nomination during the run, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So that's completely met, and y'all are in for a treat. Let's just say that much.
Alright, get ready for Mario 64. My name is Cheese05.
Whoever
Actually-
pushed that to completion made a good choice.
But yeah, I think that's all I got to say. The DLC came out for Hat in Time, so definitely play that if you want. It's really good. Yeah, you can say anything you want, Flair. Before we sign off.
I guess I'll just one more note about Booth Troop, since what we were talking about. Going into there, if you want to learn stuff about this speedrun or get into it and you don't know where to start, there's so many people in there that are up at various different time zones. There's basically always going to be someone that'll be able to help you if you just talk in one of the various chats in there. And it is a bit loaded with information right now because the DLC and new patches and stuff has obviously shaken up the speedrun a lot. So we're like processing that all right now, trying to get like new like guides and stuff out, but it'll take a little bit of time. But there'll always be something for you to do if you come in here and ask for help.
The community is
yeah,
very supportive towards new runners. One of the best communities out there. So big shout outs to everyone in the Boop Troop. And you can find a link to the server on the speedrun.com leaderboards. It's open to the public. And yeah, that's it for Hat in Time. I hope all of you are ready for minor ultra adventures.
I know I'm ready.
Aw, yeah. You can sign me off whenever.
You're good.
Cool. I'll start setting up minor.
Go for it.
You can stay here if you want, Flavor.